I also want to talk about marriage. I want to talk about the marriages that we don't talk about. We will have to talk about all the fringe issues, the 1% that does this, or the percentage of marriages that are heterosexual at this point, that are in Hollywood and they break up. I want to talk about the marriages that we never talk about, the ones that last 30, 40, 50 years. You know how hard it is? And if you're married, you know what I'm talking about. But there is nothing better in the human sense under the realm of God except God himself. And God made marriage, made a man and woman. And they shall become one flesh. There's nothing better than your partner, your spouse, your other half having your back. When you know push comes to shove, they got you. That they believe in you. That they love you. And it's not a love that's incentivized. They're not looking for something. Does it happen? These marriages happen. My parents had that kind of marriage. I remember as a kid, I thought it was normal to walk in and see parents like slow dancing in the living room. They used to do that, My father was nuts about my mom. And I realized, this man, he could have sent me to an Ivy League. He could have put me into special camps to become a better athlete. But he taught me how to love a woman. And I think that's what we need to do, guys. We need to release. We need to die. We need to begin to live. We need to begin to experience. We need to love. There was an old bar in Maine I used to go to, right? And the lady who ran the bar was called Turtle. And they had a big painted turtle on the wall, and underneath it said, "Dance like nobody's watching." Right? We need to dance like nobody's watching. Because maybe your child walks in and sees you dancing. And then they remember, oh, that's what it is. It's normal for a couple after 30 years to be slow dancing in the middle of the week at 3 o'clock. It's not normal. But that's the power of the hidden marriages, the power of the hidden life of Jesus. Right? We know what he did from 30 to 33. We got those 3 years down. What did he do from an infant to 30? What did Jesus do? We don't know. We know a little story when he was 12. But we have all this data, right, about life. And this man who we define time by, and whether you want to acknowledge Jesus or not, we literally define the 2024 Olympics just took place. Worldwide Olympics, 2024. 2024 for everyone. 2024 years from what? That guy's birthday. I mean, whether you want to acknowledge this guy or not, you have to say, who else in history has the entire calendar built around their day? That's a special man. I thought, was Mary and Jesus slow dancing in the afternoon? We can make love so highfalutin. But maybe it's just that kind of stuff. Remember when my dad was dying? He died of cancer. And I had a little house in Pennsylvania. He always wanted a log cabin, and I got a log cabin. So he came up. He was really sick. He died young. He was 62. And he came up there, and he was like a busy guy. He was always want to be busy. So he was like half the size at this point. And he was sweeping the deck. Sweep. He was always like doing something like cleaning the tables or sweeping the deck. So he's sweeping the deck. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? Come on, leave it. Just relax. No, he wanted. And he loved it. He always had a dream of a log cabin. He grew up with a poor kid in Queens, New York. And he thought this was fantastic that one of his sons, he had 4 boys, had this log cabin as a second home. And he was not a philosopher. He was not religious. He was not the kind of guy you'd call deep. Definitely smart. Smart like street vendor smart, city smart, street smart, and a good man, a gentleman, a decent man. You know the word decent isn't used properly? How was that steak? It was decent. But when you say when someone's decent, a person is decent, he's a good man. So we're going to leave, right? We're going to leave this log cabin. We get in the front. He's sitting in the front seat next to me. my wife and my mother in the back seat, and I'm driving. And at the time, because I'm so smart, so sophisticated, I love my notebooks, and I had to have my certain notebook with my certain pen, and I couldn't find my pen, so I blamed my wife. And so literally I start bickering with her, like, where's my pen? And we're sitting in the car waiting for the car to start. And she's behind me, my mother's behind me, my father's to the right. And as I'm bickering, embarrassing to even tell the story, my father's looking straight out the windshield, never looks over to me. And he puts his left hand onto my right forearm, like where the stick shift would be. And he says, love, just love. Right? See, we want to hook people, impress people. We want people to like us. We want to claim that, only if you write this many book, this shelf wide of books, you have significance intellectually. Love, just love. In that context, is one of the most profound things I've ever heard in my life. 3 hours of Shakespeare, 2 minutes of my dad in the car. In that context.